Hello. So today I am doing a little video about a commission that I've been working on. If you don't know, I'm PB Raisinbread. I make art and stuff. The videos on this channel are mostly of me making a comic, but I also love RPGs, and D&D and podcasts where they'll play RPGs, and one of those is Campaign Skyjacks, and I watch the One Shot Network, and they asked me to do a commission for their book club anthology, where basically they have a bunch of tiny RPGs that they had game designers come in and make for their Patreon, and a part of that commission is this RPG, You Must Sneak Human Remains into Disney World, which is made by James D'Amato himself, and it is free promotional material for the Kickstarter. And the Kickstarter and this download on the itch.io of this game will be in the video description. But anyway, so this game, You Must Sneak Human Remains into Disney World, is pretty much what it says on the tin. You create your group, which can consist of an actual child, a pregnant woman who's very pregnant, a furry, and a Disney adult, amongst other people, and then you create the remains that you must sneak in, which could be bones, could be ashes, could be a weekend at Bernie's, or could be like Walt Disney's cryogenically frozen head, or a cryogenically frozen head that may or may not be Walt Disney's head, you know? And so it just seems like a very fun game to play. And on the Kickstarter, there's actually a tier where you can actually play it with James. And I believe that by the time that I'm recording this, there's still 2 slots of it open, 2 out of 4 slots open for that tier. So in the Kickstarter, you pay $20 and then you get the PDF, or you could do the higher tier and reserve a slot to play You Must Sneak Human Remains into Disney World with James as the GM. And yeah, so I did the art for it. James obviously made it, and then Tracy, a part of the One Shot Network, edited the game and was my point of contact throughout this process. And they're super awesome. They're all super awesome, and the game is super fun. And so my idea for it was to do kind of like an old retro-y map, and have a bunch of fun poppy graphical comic style illustrations, and then have little hints of bones and ashes and a cryogenically frozen head that may or may not be Walt Disney, and other little things like that. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I think I might have gotten too excited and done a little bit too much. The main spread itself might look a little busy, but I had a lot of fun with it. I think if I, retroactively, hindsight 2020, did it over, I might tell myself to calm down. But I had a lot of fun making it. But sometimes, you just get too excited and then you just do a bunch of crazy stuff. I did actually have some fun facts about, so sneaking human remains into Disney World is actually a thing. People will smuggle in, most commonly, obviously, cremated human ashes into Disney World, and they will want to, spread my ashes on the Jungle Cruise is the person's last dying request or whatever. And so they will smuggle their human remains into Disney World and try to sprinkle it in the Jungle Cruise water. And basically they have like a sweep of the park, like obviously, you know, for not just for human ashes, for a lot of things, but they'll do like a clean sweep of the park, and if they, you know, find human ashes, they have to get like a special vacuum and vacuum it up. And that's usually what ends up happening to the human remains that people leave in the park. I think I read somewhere that I did like a cursory, like 10-minute research on Google, and obviously like explore.com and BuzzFeed had some of the, there's also mentalfloss.com, Gizmodo, Inside the Magic. Yeah, there's a lot of lovely places that have so much true and completely factual information about this phenomenon. But it seems like Haunted Mansion is the most popular place to spread someone's human remains, for obvious reasons. Not just that the theme of being the Haunted Mansion is so perfect to spread human ashes, but it's like, you know, it's a very dark ride. There's already like bones and ghosts and stuff around, you know. I feel like that's the place where if you have smuggled human remains into Disney World, you can most quickly discard them in Haunted Mansion, and it would be like the longest before they are sort of got caught. But I think they do like especially Haunted Mansion, they do like a pretty intense sweep of the grounds to sort of clean up any human cremated ashes that they may or may not find. Also Pirates of the Caribbean, and I think they've also found remains on It's a Small World, back when they had It's a Small World. Yeah, they don't have It's a Small World anymore, I don't think. Anyway, but yes, it's a phenomenon, and apparently when it happens and they find someone doing that, they shut down the ride for quote-unquote technical difficulties, and they have like a whole code word for it, and they have someone come in, and like one of the custodial staff come in with a special vacuum to suck those human remains right up and into a trash can. And if you're caught, maybe it's specifically I think the laws are different from Disneyland to Disney World. Like California has like a very specific fine. I think like you may face, I think in both states you definitely can face legal action, because it is if you want to spread human ashes on private property, you have to ask for permission. And obviously if you ask for permission at Disney World, most likely they would say no unless you give them like $1 bajillion. Then I think they would allow it. But people will sometimes even just sort of drop them in a random flower bed or a fountain or whatever. But yeah, it's an actual thing that happens, which is not surprising, but also still kind of crazy. So in this map, it's obviously not a one-for-one accurate map of Disney World, right? Like I don't want to get clocked by Disney World. So I have like a nondescript castle that may or may not be magic. And then I have a street of buildings that may or may not be called Main Street. And a gift shop that for some reason I made look like a little like circus tent. I don't know why I did that. It's just what I was feeling at the moment. And then I have a jungle cruisy type. I have like 2 jungle cruisy type areas now that I think about it. But for some reason, I think that it's because I think that the easiest place to sort of spread ashes, if you don't get caught in the act of doing it, the easiest place to spread ashes where they won't immediately be like cleaned and sucked up by a vacuum, but I do think they like clean and recycle the water, would be in some of the like water-esque rides, to just discreetly like have a little plastic bag in your pocket and just sort of throw it out there. Disney, I am not planning to. I don't have access to any human remains at all, and I am not planning on. Nobody in my family has this in their will. I am not planning to do this. But if for some reason, I just think that would be the easiest way to do it. That's all. And yeah, so I have like a few different like water-esque rides. And then I have like a little like tree of life in the corner. I've got a little Epcot ball in the corner. May or may not be an Epcot ball in the corner. I have a sort of racetrack, some just sort of nondescript roller coaster-y rides. And then I also have a bathroom, because I feel like that if you want to go for the easiest route, right? And they said, I don't care. On their dying deathbed, they say, I don't care. It just needs to be at Disney World. I feel like the easiest place would be just go for a full like goldfish moment, flush them down the toilet. That's the easiest way to not get caught. But that does seem kind of a cop-out to me personally. If you do want to spread someone's remains at Disney World, that is definitely a cop-out. But also at the same time, the sort of easiest way to sort of check that box. But yeah, so I feel like I said before, I feel like this does have a lot going on. I did have so much fun making it. I went for the sort of isometric map kind of route to give it sort of that like childlike feel, but then I also have like some bones and stuff in there. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for this. You can go play this game. Like, why are you still watching this video? Go play this game. I'll have the links in the description, but if you want to stay around and watch how I solve this problem that I've sort of, this rabbit hole that I've dug for myself of having all of these sort of little moving parts when I also need to make a clear and concise game. I feel like that's just sort of the fun part, this fun puzzle of it needs to be like in this one-page spread, but it needs to contain all of this information. It needs to be easily digestible and easy to read, but I also want to add all of these design and graphical elements to it at the same time. So it was just a really fun puzzle for me to solve. But yeah, this is pretty much it. I hope you have a lovely day, and go play this game with somebody, or any of the games that are in the one-shot book club anthology. They're all lovely games. I did all of the illustrations for the games in it. You know, if you spend 20 bucks, you can get that book and see all of those beautiful illustrations that I made, and also play some super fun games. So I hope you have a lovely day, and goodbye.